Ages ago, alien invaders attacked the Earth with a massive army of deadly machines. Humanity was forced to abandon the surface and flee to their outpost on the moon. Now, centuries later, highly specialized combat androids have been dispatched to defeat the machines once and for all. Driven by their singular purpose, these androids will reclaim the surface of the Earth for the glory of mankind.
Glory to mankind! Glory to mankind!
NieR Automata is an action game where you take on the role of 2B, a combat android who has been sent down from a space station to the surface of the Earth in order to defeat the machines that have taken over the world. 2B is actually part of an entire army of androids, and over the course of the game you'll be working with other soldiers in order to defeat increasingly dangerous foes. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic open-world environment where you're free to either explore, attack, or avoid enemies as you see fit. The game is divided into a series of chapters. Each one has you visiting a specific location so that you can find and defeat a particularly powerful robot boss. However, in between these boss battles, you'll be able to visit local outposts, where you can either buy and sell new weapons and items with merchants, or talk to quest givers in order to take on side missions. These side missions will typically have you exploring the environment to either defeat enemies or collect crafting materials. Completing them will provide you with extra backstory as well as material rewards such as money or experience. There's even a fishing minigame that you can participate in during your downtime. Now, gaining experience either through completing missions or defeating enemies will eventually allow your character to level up and gain more hit points. For combat advancement, however, you'll need to acquire crafting materials, which you can give to armorers in order to upgrade your weapons. In addition to leveling up hit points and weapons, you can also customize your character through upgrade chips. These chips, which can be purchased or looted from enemies, can affect everything from your attack power to your defense to even your movement speed. Using multiple chips of the same type boosts their effectiveness, but there's a limit to how many chips you can have equipped at any one time. There's a wide variety of chips available, and you can even set up multiple loadouts, customizing them as you see fit. Now, what's good about NieR Automata is that it has really solid core gameplay. 2B can equip 2 weapons from a selection of swords, spears, and gauntlets, and then use those during combat to build combos and attack chains. The fighting is fast and responsive, and you'll need to use your dodge ability to stay out of the way of enemy attacks. You can even perform a powerful counterattack if you time your dodge just before an opponent hits you. In addition to melee combat, you also have a gun drone that floats around and follows you, and you can use this drone at any time to fire off a stream of bullets. These bullets can be used to soften enemies up from a distance or destroy incoming projectiles. You can even equip the drone with special weapons to help complement your playstyle. The combat itself is fast and dangerous, and there's a great variety of enemies to keep you on guard. Some of them can fly, some of them can shoot projectiles, some of them are so large that they take up most of the screen. Fighting effectively often means paying attention to what attacks your opponents are using, and then changing your weapons, tactics, or upgrade loadouts in order to compensate. Now, what stands out about NieR Automata is that while fast, frantic fighting is all well and good, the game will regularly shift its pacing and even gameplay in order to keep you on your toes. And this is interesting because on the surface, NieR seems like a pretty standard action game, but the more you play, the more you'll see the tone, the aesthetic, and even the design of the game change. A simple example is that early on you'll have the opportunity to fly a attack fighter around and engage in some simple shoot-'em-up segments. Then, later on, you'll find these traditional shooting segments transitioning into twin-stick shooting segments, and then vice versa. A more elaborate example might be how, at one point, you're walking through the decayed ruins of a destroyed human city, only to turn the corner and find yourself in an elaborate amusement park filled with dancing robots. So you jump on a roller coaster, at which point the game switches into a 2D side-scrolling format before it dumps you inside the boss arena. At which point you have a fight with a robot opera singer who's firing waves of projectiles at you while you're trying to overcome a series of top-down hacking minigames. It's it's a wild ride. Now, if there's any downside to NieR Automata, it's that the game's loose interpretation of structure could be considered just as much of a weakness as it is a strength. I personally found it fascinating and thematically appropriate for a game about an individual soldier trapped within a much larger construct of violent warfare. But I could totally understand how someone who's only here for the over-the-top action sequences might find that sort of thing distracting. Still, I would give NieR Automata 4 out of 4 stars, and my recommendation. It's definitely one to pick up if you want a high-octane action game that doesn't always play by traditional rules. Alright, thanks for listening. Till next time, stay safe out there. Next time on NieR Automata, Showdown in the Desert. Giant robotic death tanks versus super pissed off warthog. You don't want to miss it. A battle for the ages. Tune in next time.